You ask AI a question and you get an answer that's fine, technically correct, completely generic, and not actually useful to you. I've had this exact conversation with a lot of people over the last few weeks, and they all land in the same place. AI just isn't that helpful. I want to show you that the AI is fine. The problem is that it's never met you. Once you see why that matters, you can fix it in about 5 minutes. I'll show you in Claude, but the same fix works in ChatGPT and Gemini. Let's start with people, not AI. Think about the last time you were frustrated talking to someone, or the last time someone was frustrated talking to you. Most of the time, it isn't that one of you was wrong or had nothing useful to say. It was that the way that they communicate and the way that you communicate didn't line up. They had good information and it just didn't land for you, or you told them something useful and it bounced right off. That's what's happening with AI. It doesn't understand how you communicate. It doesn't know what you already know, what your background is, or what you're actually looking for when you come to it. And here's the strange part. It has vastly more knowledge than you do. It's holding most of human knowledge. What it doesn't have is any understanding of you. It's also working with far less than we give each other. There's a famous piece of research out of UCLA from the 70s that gets quoted constantly. Something like 93% of communication is nonverbal. People argue about the exact number, and that's fair, but the direction is obviously right. Tone, expression, timing, your whole history with a person, all of it carries meaning. Now sit with this. Even in person, with all of that signal, we still misread each other all the time. You're typing to an AI, it gets the words and nothing else. None of the 93%, and it has never met you. Here's the shortest way I can say it. Imagine you know everything, every book, every article on the internet, all of it's in your head. A stranger walks up to you and asks, "What should I work on today?" You know everything, but you don't know them. So you give them a safe, average answer, not because you're dumb, but because you have no context. That's your AI. So let's be fair to it. When you and I go meet someone who matters, a job interview, a sales call, a first meeting with a client, we do our homework. We look them up. We learn their background so we can actually speak to them. The AI doesn't get to do that. It can't go research you before you talk. So unless you hand it the briefing, it walks into every single conversation cold. Which means the generic answer isn't a failure. It's the correct answer to the question you actually asked. And that question had no context. Average question in, average question out. So, I want to change the question you ask yourself. From now on, when you get a weak answer, don't think, AI can't do what I need. That's the wrong question, and it's a dead end. Ask this instead. What context do I need to give the AI to get a useful answer? And then the real unlock, the one most people never get to. How do I make that context permanent so I never have to re-explain myself again? That second question is what this video is about. Because the AI only needs 2 things from you, and you can set both of them once. Not a better prompt every single time, 2 things written once. 1, who you are, and 2, how you want it to talk to you. That's it. Most people never give it either one, and then wonder why it sounds like a press release. Let me show you the difference live, and then exactly how to write that context. Okay, here's Claude, completely fresh, no profile, no custom instructions, nothing. The only thing it knows about me is what it learned opening the account, my name, Michael, and that I'm a software engineer. I'm going to ask it something real, the kind of thing you'd actually want help with. I have an hour free this afternoon. What should I work on? It comes back with some clarifying questions. I'll say for my job/career, and then highest impact. Ask some more questions. I'll say I need more leads. We'll say sales leads, and I don't know the best path to generate the leads. And here's what it comes up with. 1, check for warm leads, going cold for 15 minutes, ask 3 to 5 clients for referrals, reconnect with 5 dormant clients. If there's time left, start a short list for cold outreach. And there it is. This is fine. It's also useless to me. It's a generic list of sales advice. I don't know what I'm working on. It doesn't know what's urgent, and it has no idea how I make decisions or what tools I have available. This is the type of answer everyone's complaining about. So let's fix it. I'm going to do this in a Claude project to sandbox the context and give it just my DNA file. You can put your file in your Claude profile preferences, and it will be global, so everything gets it. Whatever I put in here loads into every conversation in the project, so I write it once and never think about it again. Who I am. I'm a software architect. I'm focused on YouTube, my newsletter, and consulting. My background, I like to make sure I'm being personal here and give details about my core identity. I was homeschooled until I went to college, and I love learning. I'm self-directed. I have a strong internal locus of control. I've gone from a quiet, introverted, homeschooled kid to a confident technical leader speaking at conferences, leading teams, and working on getting some YouTube channels off the ground. I love learning and teaching, and I have a strong drive to bring others along with me on the journey. As I learn, I want to teach others. Then we have some current goals as well as some longer-term goals, and then what drives me. My goals matter to me for a couple of reasons. First, I want to make sure I'm 100% present with my kids whenever they're home. I want to give them similar hands-on learning and traveling experiences I had growing up. This requires financial and time freedom. Second, I get a lot of fulfillment from giving people the tools to free up their own time so they can focus on the things important to them. My biggest win and failure, some constraints I have, then my target audience. This is business focused here, but if I were a stay-at-home parent, the target audience might have information about my kids. Then some success metrics, and then finally values. I value action over planning, clear communication, and pragmatism over hype. I'm highly logical, and I get impatient when something takes too long to reach the point. Then some things that frustrate me. I'm irritated when people take too long getting to the point. I get annoyed with inconsistency. I'm highly logical, so emotional responses or choices are annoying, but I recognize that it's human and sometimes it's helpful to be reminded of that. I saved that. That's the whole thing. That took about 5 minutes. Now let's try it out. I've added that as context for this project. Now watch, same model, same questions, word for word. I have an hour free this afternoon. What should I work on? One clarifying question, we'll say leads, so it's similar to the other example, and completely different response. It's reasoning about what I'm actually working on. It gave me a clear pick instead of a list of generic sales actions, and it's talking the way I asked it to, straight and to the point, no filler. Same model, same question. The only thing that changed is that it knows who I am and how I want to be talked to. 3 options: newsletter content for Agentic Smith, 1 piece of repurposable proof of work content, direct outreach, and then a suggestion of which are probably the best to lean into. Also, a quick note, this is the same context that you would drop into ChatGPT's custom instructions or Gemini's saved info. You write it once and paste it in whatever tool you like to use. Now, let's talk about how to write this context. There's 3 quick things to get right. 1, don't dump your autobiography in here. Be specific, not comprehensive. Every line loads into every conversation you have, so a wall of detail dilutes the signal instead of sharpening it. 3 good lines beats 30 mediocre ones. In mine, I had a couple personal details and how they shaped me. I was homeschooled and stereotypically shy. I have a strong internal locus of control, and have learned to apply myself to become a confident speaker. Core details about myself that shape how I make decisions. Second thing, telling it my core values, annoyances, and constraints really shapes how the AI communicates with me. And then third, revisit it. After a week, you'll notice a handful of things that may have gotten wrong about you or things that you didn't like, and you can go add more into the appropriate sections, and the AI will just get better. It gets better the same way you get better when you're working with a new coworker, a little at a time as you learn them and how they work. That's the difference between a one-time trick and a setup that keeps paying off. So that's the first layer. The AI was never the problem. It just didn't know who you were. So stop asking whether the AI can do what you need. Start asking what context is missing, and then make that context permanent, which is exactly what we just did. 1 block written once and every answer gets more useful with no extra prompting. If you want a fill-in-the-blank template for context like I just used, I put it in a free starter doc. The link's down in the description. Next video, we're going to go one level deeper, not just telling the AI who you are, but teaching it to write like you, so you can do things like draft your emails and messages in your actual voice. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and I'll see you there.